Hey everybody, welcome back to Cooking 101. I'm Jen. I'm a dietitian. I'm not a professional chef, but I started this show because one of the things I do for my job is help steer people into healthier ways of preparing meals. I've taught myself how to cook over the years, and I know that since COVID hit, a lot of people have been cooking more for themselves than they ever did in their entire life. And they may be running out of ideas, or they may need some new inspiration, and not stuff that's too technically complicated. So this is what this show is for. Today we're talking breakfast again. So I decided to wear my I woke up on the dark side of the bed shirt for little sleepy Darth Vader here. So the request I got was for breakfasts that aren't eggs. Because people want ideas for what to make and they're getting kind of stuck. I've also done smoothies. Today we're going to talk overnight oats. So for breakfast, it's kind of the same rule set that I talked about last week for snacks. When you want an effective breakfast, it needs to have two important elements, both if you can make it happen. Protein and fiber. Because both those things make you full. They slow down absorption, so if there's any carbs in your breakfast, that slows down, you don't burn through it right away. And just gets you started on the right foot so you're not starving by lunch and you're not starving by dinner. A lot of people skip breakfast and they think that that's fine and that's going to help them lose weight because you're eating one less meal a day, and they get used to that, so they're not even hungry. So a lot of people think that's the way to go. I'm here to say that is not the way to go. A lot of the people I work with who skip breakfast and are looking for some sort of improvement in their weight are definitely skipping breakfast when I do their meal recounts. And I find this correlates pretty well because when you don't eat something at the beginning of the day, it kind of slides your hunger down towards the end of the day. What you want is kind of an equal distribution of hunger throughout the day. So you eat in the morning, that means that you're less hungry at night. That means that you're not eating your biggest meal at the end of the day and then going straight to bed after not burning it off. If you kind of skew your hunger up and eat more in the beginning of the day, then you're less hungry throughout the day and you're not going to overeat. Eating the largest meal at the end of the day is usually a sign that your day is off, your rhythms in your body are off, and you're eating all of your calories at once and then going to sleep, so you're not working any of that off. So that's usually a bad thing, just for health reasons. So I usually say, okay, you gotta eat something at the beginning of the day. It doesn't have to be big. It could be 1 or 2 bites and you can put it away for later. This is actually good breakfast for that because I usually make it in advance. And I'll make a bunch of them, and then I'll just stick them in the fridge, and I'll eat them when I want them. And they keep for a week, so they're good to go. They don't go bad. They don't get any soggier than they are. They just get to a point of oatmeal texture, and then they stop, and you can eat them whenever you're ready to eat them. So I love oats. Oats are awesome. Most of the time I tell people don't eat a breakfast that's mostly carbs. So bagels, donuts, toast, waffles, pancakes, cereal, cold cereal, all that stuff, cream of wheat, it's no good. That's not a good breakfast. Most of them have very low protein. I mean, grains have protein, but not a lot. Most of them have very low fiber unless they're super whole grain. Oats are completely whole grain. Therefore, they have more protein and way more fiber. So they are that complete set that I told you about. Looking for protein, looking for fiber, keeping you full, making the fuel last. You're not hungry right after eating it. I'm going to show you some ways to boost the protein in this meal so it's even higher. The kind of oats, you can use any oats, just don't use steel cut. That's another animal altogether. It's not going to work out. You're going to end up with oats that have not softened, and they're going to be kind of crunchy and gross and chewy, and you're going to hate it. Do not use steel cut oats for this recipe. You can just use the plain Quaker oats. I love Quaker oats. They're cheap. They're easy to find. They're in every store. You can recycle and upcycle the container when you're done. I remember when I was little, my mom would wrap these things in not wrapping paper, in wallpaper to make them decorative, and then she would hide rolls of toilet paper inside. Mom was a good upcycler. But Quaker Oats are simple and easy to find, and you can turn them into this, which makes them even better, or you can have hot oatmeal. Hot oatmeal is totally fine too, but it's August right now, and the heat sucks. So I'm making cold oatmeal, because cold oatmeal is going to be much nicer to eat right now than hot oatmeal, or hot anything for that matter. Alright, so to start out, you need oats. You need some sort of container. Now, I'm using this half-pint jar of, it's a ball jar, it's a mason jar, whatever you want to call it. You do not have to use it. I got my lid here. You don't have to get fancy like me. I have these because I actually do canning, so I also turn the jars into containers for whatever I need them for. But you need some sort of container. So it can be Tupperware, anything with a lid, as long as it's a container that you can shake. So you have to be able to put a lid on it, shake it, and not have everything make a mess. As long as you can do that, whatever you want to use. You can use a cocktail shaker. I don't care. It's fine. But just find yourself a container. Then you need your oats. You need a liquid. So if you drink milk, buy milk. I don't drink milk because it doesn't work with my body. Today I am using Elmhurst cashew milk. I really like the Elmhurst brand. I don't know why. I think it's just in the packaging, which that's another best reason to buy something, but I like their products a lot. They used to make this chocolate peanut milk that was to die for, and I drank it way too much, and they discontinued it, and I was sad. But they make all sorts of milks: oat milk, cashew milk, hazelnut milk. They make almond milk, and I love almond milk, but I also recognize that almond milk is not great for the environment, so I'm branching into other milks. And I do know that cashew milk is pretty creamy in its texture. It makes a great ice cream. So I'm going to try it out today. This is my first time using cashew milk myself. But you use any kind of liquid you want. I wouldn't use water. It's going to make it weird. Don't do that. But use something creamy. So cashew milk, coconut milk, soy milk if you want. Whatever milk you really prefer, that's all that counts. If you like it, then it should go in here. And if you're using whole milk or regular cow's milk, I would say try to go for like 2% and just cut down on the fat content a little bit. So those are the basics: a liquid, your oats, and a container. You can stop there. It'll be pretty plain. But you can liven it up. I do not add sugar. Don't do that. That just ruins the health of your overnight oats. So don't add sugar, please. Not even brown sugar. It's still sugar. Instead, for sweet stuff, I add whatever fruit is lying around the house. I had cherries today, so I've cut my cherries in half here. So they're going to go in. So I talked about protein and boosting the protein in oatmeal. Because oatmeal has some protein, but not a metric ton. And to get that real good full filling that lasts all morning, you want more protein. So I am adding a few broken up pecans. That's what they are. I usually use almonds again, but we had pecans in the house, so I'm using that. Get yourself some pecans. These are cut in half, so I just literally broke them up with my fingers. You don't have to do any crazy cutting. I'm also going to be adding a little bit of flaxseed. Notes on flaxseed. They are awesome. They are full of omega-3 fatty acids, which you can't read because this is backwards, and I keep forgetting that. But they're full of omega-3 fatty acids. What are those? They are the healthiest unsaturated fats that your body really needs for every occasion. We eat too much omega-6 acids, which you can find in everything from soy to canola oil to avocado to nuts. And they're good. They're probably unsaturated, but we eat a bunch of those. We do not eat enough of the omega-3s unless you eat fish all the time. If you eat fish all the time, you're probably good. If you take fish oil every day, you're probably good. But otherwise, we all need omega-3s. They're an antioxidant. They improve your brain health. They protect your brain. They improve your heart health. They protect your heart. They are just really, really good for the body. And higher levels equals improved likelihood of health outcomes. So I never say improves health, because that's a blanket statement. Improves percentages of health outcomes is usually what I'm going for here. So if you eat omega-3 fatty acids every day for the rest of your life, you could still drop dead of a heart attack at age 50 because bodies are different and weird and life doesn't always make sense. But if you eat this every day of your life, you are reducing risks, the percent likelihood of you getting a certain disease. And we always want to improve our odds. So I like to eat these good foods to improve my odds, and you should too. So I'm adding this. Notes on flaxseed. I went on a tangent, I'm sorry. Flaxseed is awesome, but if you buy the whole seed, it's useless because we can't digest the outside of a flaxseed. It is too tough. It'll go right through us. It'll be really, really good fiber, but that's it. You don't get the gooey center, which is all the omega-3 fatty acids. I'm saying gooey as a joke. It's not gooey at all. But what you need to do is you need to get it ground up. Backwards, but it says ground right at the top here. I believe I bought this at Whole Foods, but you don't have to go to Whole Foods. You can probably find flaxseed in your local grocer because it's getting real trendy. So ground up. You need to buy flaxseed ground up. Second rule of thumb is flaxseed is no good if you end up cooking it. So if you're making hot oatmeal, don't dump it in the pot with the oatmeal as it's cooking, because that will also, the omega-3s in this are really picky and finicky. They go bad really fast. They'll go bad if you just leave this out on the counter. So you don't want to add heat. Heat is going to hurt this stuff. You can, however, sprinkle your ground up flaxseed on your oatmeal once it's done cooking. That's not going to ruin it. Just don't cook it. More to the point, if you are buying crackers that are flaxseed crackers or bread that says it's made with flaxseed, you're getting duped. Again, if it's baked in an oven, there's no omega-3 fatty acids left. It's gone. They went out the window. I see a lot of people go for flaxseed crackers these days, and it makes me cringe because what a waste of flaxseed. So just don't add heat. Get it ground up so you get this stuff in the middle. And when you store this, put it in your fridge. This hangs out in my fridge. If it hung out in your cabinet, it's gonna go rancid like within a week. And no one can eat enough of this stuff in a week. I've probably had this for like 5 months. If you are eating this much in a week, wow. I've had people tell me, my flaxseed started smelling really strong. That's because it went rancid. Because again, volatile oils, it's going to go rancid really fast. So just keep it away from any kind of room temperature. Put it in the fridge. It'll be fine. People have asked me, what about flaxseed oil? Flaxseed oil is fine. Same deal though. You have to keep it in the fridge. Don't add it to cooking products. Don't cook with it. And honestly, if you want the benefits of flaxseed, and I had the choice between putting a ground up tasty seed that has like a nutty flavor in my oatmeal or a tablespoon of oil, I would go with the ground up tasty seed because who wants oil in their food? So that's just what the deal with flaxseed is. But I love it. It basically adds the health of like 2 ounces of fish in a tablespoon. So that's awesome because some of us can't eat fish every day because fish is not the cleanest animal anymore. You get your mercury ones from the ocean and ponds and rivers, and then if you're getting farmed ones, you're getting lots of runoff chemicals from farms, so that's another fun thing. So you can't win anymore with fish. I love fish. I try to eat it like 2 to 3 times a week, but for contamination reasons, I get more of my omega-3s from adding other stuff in that contains it. So I thought I had some, I didn't, but there's another seed that also has the same exact benefits and a little less of the hassle. Chia seeds. So those have become really popular too. They're little and black. They look like poppy seeds. I love adding them to overnight oats. They're awesome. So when you add chia seeds to liquid, they form a little bit of a gel. So this will just kind of help absorb a little extra liquid there. You can also use chia seeds by themselves and add liquid, and they'll form so much of a gel that it's like pudding. And then you're like, I'm eating tapioca for breakfast. This feels like cheating. And it's awesome because, again, 2 tablespoons chia seeds equals 2 ounces of omega-3 fatty acids in fish. So you don't have to eat fish every day. So those are the seeds. They're going to add some flavor. They're going to add a little bit of fiber, a little bit of protein, and they'll help bulk everything up along with the nuts. Other stuff. I'm not adding this today, but I just wanted to mention it. Cocoa powder. If you love chocolate, put cocoa powder in your overnight oats. Cocoa powder does not have sugar added to it. At least it shouldn't. This is not the same as hot chocolate. Do not empty a packet of hot chocolate into your overnight oats. That's sugar. Cocoa powder does not have sugar added to it. It's not sweet. But when you're eating it and you're mixing it with a carb, it's going to trick your brain into thinking you're eating something sugary, something chocolatey, something delicious. So add like a teaspoon of cocoa powder to something this size, a little bit more if it's a larger container. If I did this, I'd have chocolate cherry overnight oats, which sounds pretty rad. I'm just not going to do it right now. Another thing you can add, cinnamon, which is heart healthy, good for your blood pressure, good for your blood sugar. Only if you eat it every single day though. So I hope you like cinnamon if that's the route you're going to go. But you can add it. It's another one of those things that tricks your brain into thinking something is sweeter than it is, because we associate cinnamon with sweet dishes. So that'll help with the flavor profile. You can also add a dash of vanilla. I have pure vanilla extract. Yeah, it's better than the stuff that's vanilla extract flavored with a vanilla substitute. But, you know, whatever floats your boat. Don't dump a lot of this in here. Like a tiny drop. Otherwise, it's going to taste like alcoholic overnight oats, because all vanilla extracts are suspended in a weak alcohol. And it can get real strong if you put too much in there. So start off with a little. You can always add more if you need more later. So those are some flavorings. When it's berry season, I use berries a lot. I love raspberries in this stuff. I just happen to have cherries because it's cherry season apparently. I did not know cherry season went this late, but I guess upstate New York is a little bit cooler than the rest of this, so cherry season it is. So we're doing cherries and cashew milk and nuts and flaxseed, which I think is a pretty good flavoring thing. So assembling this and making this is so easy. It takes 5 minutes. You dump your oats in. You dump whatever else you're adding. So I'm putting my cherries in. And I'm just going to put all of them in. And I'm going to dump my nuts in. You heard me. Now, serving size for flaxseed is about a tablespoon. I'm not going to use that much because this is a pretty small container. So I'm just going to eyeball it like that. There we go. There's my flaxseed. So the most important thing for overnight oats to remember is the ratio of liquid to oats. Once you get that down, you don't have to worry about anything else. Oh, other things you can add. You can add some peanut butter if you want. You can add some PB2, which is peanut butter powder. That's probably going to absorb a little bit more easily. And peanut butter is not going to mix in very well. But if you really like peanut butter, maybe you don't care. But those are both sources of protein. So if you want to even add more protein, just be very careful with peanut butter. A tablespoon, that's it. Don't go more than that because there's so many calories. It's a very fatty food. Okay, back to the ratio. I filled this halfway with oats. I'm going to fill it the rest of the way with liquid. You might want to be careful about the mix-ins you put. If you feel like they are taking up too much space, you might want to go a little less on the oats. But the ratio itself is going to be half oats, half liquid, 1 to 1. That way the oats have enough liquid to absorb and they're going to swell up and be soft. You don't have to cook oatmeal to make it oatmeal texture. That's the takeaway here. You can just soak it in liquid and you leave it for a couple hours and it becomes oatmeal texture all on its own. No heat necessary. You don't have to make your kitchen hot. You don't have to stand there stirring a pot. So I put everything in. Now it's not very well mixed. So this is where having a good strong cap really comes in, because you're going to shake it just to get everything kind of distributed. Make sure that liquid is everywhere you want it to be. If you've added things like cinnamon, you don't want the cinnamon sitting up on the top. So just shake it out. This is why you guys tune in, is to see me vibrate violently, isn't it? Alright, so it's pretty well distributed in there now. Got cherry on the bottom right there. Looks good. And then all you do, put it in the fridge. Forgive my messy and chaotic fridge. There's a lot going on all the time because I'm always cooking things. And that's it. That's overnight oats. It is the simplest thing to make. Doesn't require heat. 10 minutes out of your day. I sometimes line up like 5 jars, especially when I was going to a 9-to-5 job and I needed a quick breakfast to pull out of the fridge. And you just fill all of them up with all the things you want, screw the cap on, shake them all up, and then put them in the fridge. Next week, for the next week, you have food for breakfast every single day. So a little bit more on oat health just before we close up because I miss this part. Oats are a carb. They are. They're not going to fix all of your blood sugar needs. If you are diabetic, you still have to watch how much of the oats you eat. So having a small container where it's measured out is a really nice way to monitor that. However, oats are really high in fiber, which I already mentioned. Fiber, I'm going to play with my bangs a little bit because they look really weird on camera. Fiber is really, really good for your cholesterol, like super good, and your heart by extension. Fiber helps get rid of your cholesterol. So when I meet someone who is eating bacon and eggs for breakfast every day, the first thing I usually tell them is maybe you should start considering switching things up with oatmeal. And the more oatmeal you eat, the faster your cholesterol is going to go down and you're going to feel better. So fiber is kind of a catch-all. It helps remove things from the body. And one of the things it helps remove, besides just making your digestive tract really functional, is bile. So the body uses bile and makes it from cholesterol. So when fiber is removing that bile out of the body, because it's just kind of like a nice little cleanup sweep of the gut, the body has to make more bile. And then the body has to use more cholesterol. So you are now forcing the body to use up its cholesterol stores. It's really, really useful for that reason. So the more fiber you eat, the better off your cholesterol is going to look. Really effective way, and doing something simple like eating oatmeal for breakfast every day is probably one of the best things for it. It's not the only thing. You can get fiber from fruits and vegetables. So that's why us dietitians and doctors who are worth their salt are like, eat your vegetables, because it is so good for your body. That fiber is still doing its job, and it's feeding your body lots of helpful vitamins and minerals. But not everybody likes veggies, or your day's complicated and you don't know how to cook them, etc. So you tune into my show to learn how to cook them. But in the meantime, you can make some overnight oats, eat oatmeal every day for breakfast. It'll help improve your cholesterol. So that's the little health spiel I had. If you guys have any questions, always feel free to leave something in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. If you like what you see and you'd like to make a donation, I take donations at my Venmo, which is at JSRockRD. Those donations help me afford groceries for my show and just keep my business running. If you can't afford it, that's fine, because this show is for people of every background and walk of life to learn something, and I don't want to monetize that. I want to help people out. So that's why this show exists. So if you guys like my style and you want to have like a one-on-one session, I am a dietitian. You can always book me at my website is the whole booking widget. The website is jrockrd.com. Love to see you guys. Have a little session, learn something. I can help you with your diet. I can help you improve your health, whatever you need. Otherwise, I will see you next Sunday. Keep those comments coming. Tell me what you'd like to see on the show, what you'd like me to clear up, or something you'd like me to make. And I love your ideas, and that's what powers this show. So have a good rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you next week.